Marking the unofficial end to season, the Easter holiday is squarely behind us. It leaves us with a window to enjoy spring with a little less fuss. Our first story was right under our nose. You've read her stories, but her personal narrative is just as entertaining. Harriet Heithaus is always ready to spring into action, whatever it takes. She's been on the job for almost half a century. We take a closer look in a feature fixture.
I've been lucky to do all kinds of things, from covering the Republican and Democrat national conventions to sitting in with a Philharmonic to painting shoes.
Then, long after spring baseball is wrapped up, a duo of local haircutters are holding on to their rivalries. Cubs versus Yankees. They're constantly trading barbs. Plus, when flowers bloom, a local gardener is in his element. They are merely dressing for his blooming passion. We'll have those stories along with our Inspired Living Design series. I'm Amy Osher, and this is Behind the Headlines. I'm Amy Osher. Thanks for joining us. As we look at topics relating to spring, a member of our own team comes to mind. Arts correspondent Harriet Heithaus isn't exactly a spring chicken, she'll be the first to admit, but she embraces multimedia reporting like someone a fraction of her age. Coupled with her command of all things culture, she is a feature fixture in the newsroom. By any measure, Harriet Heithaus is a force to be reckoned with, pounding the pavement under deadline pressure for 47 years.
I've been in newspaper work since 1970. That's a long, long time.
As a cub reporter in Troy, Ohio, she covered the usual beats: city government, schools, that sort of thing. As the years passed, Harriet developed artitude.
I've always liked the arts. I've always enjoyed music. I've always enjoyed going to museums, so it was a natural, frankly.
At the Naples Daily News, she's recognized as a culture aficionado, delivering daily features and a weekly artitude column, keeping pace with reporters who weren't even born when she penned her first article.
There are many of them who look at me quizzically when I start talking about certain rock stars from back in the day, but I also learn from them.
Think how much newspapers have changed in the last century in the way we consume information.
In some ways, I'm sorry to see it because people don't read as much, but in other ways, I think it's exciting to have video. I really like the addition to that.
Like it, Harriet lives it.
I generally try to include a video component, occasionally a Facebook Live, but quite often a video that runs with the story.
If she's not shooting her own video, she's on camera interviewing her subject.
How long did it take you to come up with what you wanted on the Mayor Princess's head?
Oh, I knew right away.
Or broadcasting live from an event.
We are reporting from the Women's March in Naples again.
Quick to pick up social media.
I'm still better at Twitter than I am at Facebook. I love Twitter, and I love Instagram too.
She shares her stories with a wider audience.
If I do a review, I want to send it out to Symphony Magazine. I want to send it out to people way outside our circulation area.
At an age when many have retired, Harriet is kicking up her heels. A few months ago, she donned full gear for a story on sword fighting.
That came from Instagram. See, I get some of my greatest ideas from the new media.
And she kicked off her heels for another feature on wine-fueled shoe painting. Does it kind of give you a different perspective than just writing the story as an observer?
It does. Frankly, it was as scary as the sword fighting because there you are with a blank canvas.
At the end of the day, it's about making a connection, informing and entertaining, staying relevant. Over the years, her methods have changed, but her mission has not.
Keep fighting for the long, serious, hard story because it's worth it. But also have some fun.
If you want to keep up with Harriet Heithaus, you may have to follow her on Twitter. That's at @NDN_Harriet Heit. Baseball players may be called the boys of summer, but we all know their path to victory starts in spring, sometimes right here in Southwest Florida. The sport has a huge fan following here, and they've been known to take it very seriously, which brings us to a story brought to us by our sports department. Andy Sartogren caught up with a pair of dueling barbers in Bonita Springs. The owner of Paul's Barbershop is a die-hard Yankees fan. One of his barbers is equally passionate about the Chicago Cubs. As you can imagine, the pair are constantly trading barbs.
Okay, regular haircut?
Yeah.
All right. You sure?
Hey, do your best.
All right, do my best.
Well, you want better than that, don't you? You going anywhere important?
12 years ago, the Yankees have been in this shop. But I happened to hire 3 guys from Chicago, and they're all Cubs fans. And that was downright disgusting. They're trying to take over the shop. They really are.
You're the first person I've had in a long time with gray hair.
Oh, he's a regular comedian.
I can't believe a Yankee fan would hire you.
Well, you know what? I can't believe anybody would hire me. So I started in December of 2016. That was after the Chicago Cubs won the World Series after 108 years. And I've been working here ever since. And I use the word working loosely. It's been a lot of fun. And the fun goes on really all day long. As long as there's customers here. When customers aren't here, well, we don't really speak that much, okay? But
True, that's
yeah,
true.
one-on-one, we don't have too much to say to each other because we know where we stand. There's no controversy. He knows what I am, I know what he is, so there's nothing to talk about. But when the customers are here, they have a tendency to stick their nose into our business, and
We
so
chop it off.
we
Yeah,
get going with them, and we really have a lot of fun.
Yeah, all in fun, all in jest.
It is. It's all in jest.
You think?
I'm over 80. Right? Would you like to look something like you looked good when you came in.
Your handshake.
A little bit, but you're shaking too. But between the two of us, it's kind of like Charles. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be okay. We're going to be okay.
What time did you get up this morning? 4. I figured, because he's in gear already. Usually it's around noon.
If the Cubs wouldn't have won the World Series, I would never be here. I'll tell you that right now.
Nah, you wouldn't.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah, Louis would have made you.
I want to share it with other people.
Another rite of spring is the kickoff to rainy season. Average rainfall in Southwest Florida is 55 inches. The wetness should quench brush fire season, but it's also welcomed by gardeners looking forward to fresh blooms. And perhaps no one more than Mike Malloy. We shared his story in our Favorite Things episode, looking at his blossoming passion.
Look at this is an abutilon.
Oh, so there are
This
some...
is a new plant as of about a year ago. And I had this last Christmas in a pot, and everybody thought I decorated it for Christmas because of the flowers.
To step into Mike Malloy's garden is to see nature in all its splendor. Blooms in every color, shape, and size.
This is Filipino violet. I mean, there's so many, but...
A tangle of tropical flowers, he cultivates them carefully, each one here by design. So all these beautiful plants, and most of them are chosen by their ability to attract butterflies?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't think there's a flower in Florida that butterflies don't like.
Mike wrote us that butterflies are his favorite things. A former landscaper, his passion was a natural progression.
You plant the right butterfly comes. They all have one plant they love. And we started doing this 20, I don't know, maybe 30 years ago. And it just becomes addicting.
A beautiful obsession, really, taking up most of his time and energy.
It's insane that I spent $5,000 on milkweed one year just to feed the monarchs.
A self-described 60s guy, this butterfly lover is as colorful as the insects he adores.
And I found the butterflies were a lot easier to get along with because they didn't talk back. But no, they're just the most beautiful thing.
They seem to like him too, or the paradise he created. In our short visit, we saw several butterflies flitting about his garden, feasting on nectar, even horsing around. So, do you go on excursions to see butterflies?
All the time. We're through the Everglades twice a week.
When he's not looking for butterflies, Mike writes about them. When they die, he turns them into art, uplifted and inspired just having them here.
People take life too seriously, you know?
Up next, when a common inconvenience becomes a frequent condition, it's time to see your doctor. We're looking at heartburn after the break.
Life here is amazing, and so is the joint care. At the Total Joint Center at Physicians Regional Healthcare System, we've changed the experience of joint replacement for good. With our comprehensive joint care program, most hip and knee replacement patients return home in just 2 days because we know you want to get on with your active life. Pain-free living starts at Physicians Regional Medical Center, Collier Boulevard, and Physicians Regional Medical Center, Pine Ridge.
Hiring the right moving company is important. Best Moving and Storage is a family-owned and operated business serving Southwest Florida for over 22 years. From our free in-home estimate until the last piece of furniture is in your new place or stored in our climate-controlled warehouse, we treat you like family. Best Moving and Storage is fully licensed and insured, with all of our employees being certified drivers and packers. When it comes to protecting your treasured belongings, choose a company that's experienced and trustworthy. Call Best Moving and Storage today at 239-592-6565.
My name is Steve Unser, and cabinetry is my specialty. I have been creating custom-designed cabinetry for 20 years in Southwest Florida, and now I am celebrating the grand opening of our new Naples showroom. Steve Unser Cabinetry will help you design your kitchen, bath, or home office with stunning results, offering the best quality of cabinets with a wide variety of design options and pricing to fit any budget. If your kitchen isn't becoming to you, you should be coming to us. Now, 2 locations to serve you.
60% of the U.S. adult population suffer from some episode of reflux or heartburn each year. For many, it's a common occurrence called GERD. We take a closer look in this week's Positively Healthy. Occasional heartburn is one thing, but frequently feeling bad is another altogether. It's estimated 20% of Americans are living with a chronic condition called gastroesophageal reflux disease, or GERD.
Acid is needed for your stomach to digest food, but it's supposed to stay in your stomach. And there's a little valve that closes when you swallow food. Sometimes that valve gets a little weaker. The acid goes up into the esophagus.
Chronic exposure to stomach acid causes that burning sensation we sometimes call indigestion. Over time, the results can be damaging.
It can predispose you to inflammation, scarring, narrowing, which can cause trouble with swallowing, even long-term damage like cancers.
That's right. Persistent acid-related reflux is linked to esophageal cancer if it's untreated, which is why gastroenterologist Alexandra urges her patients to listen to their body.
When we start getting concerned if you're getting episodes 2 or 3 times a week.
Over-the-counter meds may provide temporary relief, but continued use should trigger a professional evaluation, ranging from a review of symptoms, a look at lifestyle and habits, or going as far as an endoscopy.
We take a little camera and we look into your mouth and down into your esophagus and your stomach, and we look for any damage to make sure there's no long-term damage that could lead to cancers.
By getting a grasp on GERD, you can lower your risk of complications and extinguish your heartburn. For a closer look at what we're working on at the Daily News, here's tips and scoops from our reporters on the beat. Guys?
Thanks, Amy. So the state of Florida has a national scenic trail, which is pretty special. It's one of just 11 of these trails that was created by Congress more than 30 years ago. The one here, it runs more than 1,000 miles. It starts right here in Collier County and runs up to Pensacola. Every year, more than about a few dozen people come down to Collier County to try to tackle it all, to hike the entire thing from here to Pensacola. And it usually takes them more than a month, between a month and 2 months, those that do make it. So we've been embedding with some of these hikers as they attempt to do the whole thing, as they attempt to find food, water, deal with the entire hike. So be sure to find out more about that in the future on naplesnews.com.
Hi, I'm Ashley Collins. I'm a reporter with the Collier Citizen. This past week I got to speak to Kiwanis Club members here in Collier County about the upcoming Christmas in July event. While it's not until July, they are looking for sponsors now to help the more than 800 homeless children identified in the Collier County School District. So it's a pretty big deal. They're trying to raise about $72,000 to provide school children with school supplies and clothes and toiletries for their event. This is the second annual event. Last year they were able to help more than 100, so they have a higher goal this year. For more information about this, visit naplesnews.com.
I'm Shelby Reynolds. I'm a features reporter here at the Naples Daily News, and we've always known that nature can have a calming, relaxing effect, but now it's being used as a form of therapy. So I'm visiting the Naples Botanical Garden this week to find out how they use their enabling garden with people who are affected by Alzheimer's. And so horticulture can actually improve physical and mental health. And so you can find that story in print on Saturday and online at naplesnews.com.
Hi everyone, Dave Osborn, entertainment editor of the Naples Daily News. I recently interviewed Olivia Newton-John, one of my childhood crushes growing up in the 1970s. She had many hits in the 70s and 80s, including Let Me Be There, Magic, and Physical. She will be performing at the Seminole Immokalee Casino at 8 o'clock on Saturday, April 22nd. Look for my story on Olivia in this week's Naples Daily News and also at naplesnews.com.
Hello, my name is Patrick Riley. I'm the breaking news reporter / cops reporter here at the Naples Daily News. My colleague Alexia and I worked on a story about immigration enforcement here in Collier County. We have been looking at the number of people that were detained in the first month since the executive order was signed in January, and have been talking to immigration attorneys and visited one of the detention centers in Miami. And we'll have your findings in today's Naples Daily News and online at naplesnews.com.
One more stop before we leave the newsroom. This is our weekly commentary.
Thanks, Amy. I know it's hard to believe, but pickleball week is almost upon us. With the April sports calendar so full, there's the NCAA basketball championship, the Masters, baseball's opening day, and the start of the NBA playoffs, not to mention the NFL draft. It's easy to lose track. But Collier County Commissioners on Tuesday proclaimed the week of April 22nd through April 30th Pickleball Week in Collier County. For the uninitiated, pickleball is a sport similar to tennis, in which players bat a ball back and forth over a net. It's popular with older folks because it doesn't require as much running around. That makes it a good fit for Collier County. So while Williamsport, PA has the Little League World Series and Omaha, Nebraska has the College World Series, Collier County has the U.S. Pickleball Open. Not that there's anything wrong with that. According to county figures, more than 3,000 hotel rooms have already been booked for the event, held at East Naples Community Park. It's expected to add some $3 million to the local economy. It's just that with a name like pickleball, it's hard to take the sport seriously. Pickleball. It just sounds funny. Then there's Pickleball for All, a Collier-based nonprofit group that aspires to provide pickleball equipment to school students to spur interest in the game. That sounds funny too. Pickleball for all. Not that everyone's laughing though. When pickleball is played in residential areas, neighbors tend to complain about the noise the ball makes. But for 1 week in April, those concerns will be set aside. Pickleball week is almost here. Plan accordingly. I'm Brent Batten. Thanks for watching.
Coming up, enjoying the great outdoors in your own backyard with the help from our Inspired Living feature. That's ahead on Behind the Headlines.
Shop Bear's half-off select brand sale. Save half off on our most famous brands. Half off. Unbelievable. Why pay more for designer styles anywhere else? Who's the leader of the pack in design, quality, and value? Bears. Take your lifestyle to a whole new level with our always free interior design service. Bears. Often imitated, never duplicated. Half off select brand sale. Final days.
The area's only 30 minutes or less ER service pledge means you'll find less waiting for the care you need. And because we're full-service hospitals, a lot more care if you need it. Less waiting, faster care. Only at Physicians Regional Healthcare System.
Hiring the right moving company is important. Best Moving and Storage is a family-owned and operated business serving Southwest Florida for over 22 years. From our free in-home estimate until the last piece of furniture is in your new place or stored in our climate-controlled warehouse, we treat you like family. Best Moving and Storage is fully licensed and insured, with all of our employees being certified drivers and packers. When it comes to protecting your treasured belongings, choose a company that's experienced and trustworthy. Call Best Moving and Storage today at 239-592-6565.
Is your auto insurance keeping pace with your life? Ask for a AAA Triple Check Insurance Review to see if your current policy is still a good fit. An agent will assess changes in your life, like new vehicles or drivers. Make sure you've got the right coverage and all the discounts you deserve. They'll also see how a AAA membership can round out your protection on the road. Plus, provide roadside assistance, discounts, free services, and vacation extras. Ask for your AAA Triple Check today.
As the weather heats up, we're spending more and more of our time outdoors, relaxing and entertaining poolside, which is why it's important that your lanai be an extension of your living space. You're in luck. We have some design tips to get you started in this week's Inspired Living. Kathy Smith, design expert with Bears Furniture, is coaching me up on how to get the most out of our outdoor space and actually make a smooth transition from inside to out. What do we need to start with, Kathy?
Well, the thing to remember about Tommy Bahama is that they have indoor furniture and outdoor furniture that mirror each other. So it's a nice transition from inside to outside with the same furniture. What you need to do is, if you're starting with a clean slate on your lanai, depends on how big your lanai is, what's going on in there. Do you have a pool in there or not? But you want to define your spaces. You want an eating area and a dining area separate from a living room area. So you want it, that can be defined by outdoor rugs. It can be defined by artificial walls or whatever. But you want to have a delineated areas for both. After that, you have to look at your exposure, eastern, western.
Because you don't want too much sun on you. It makes people uncomfortable outside.
Exactly. And then there's sunbrella fabrics, which they don't fade. You can put them in the washing machine. You can use bleach on them. They're fabulous. And today's sunbrella fabrics are just beautiful. They look like indoor fabrics as well. So then you want to add some lighting. You want to add some accessories. You know, you might want to have some beautiful planters. Maybe a fountain. If you have a pool, you want to have some chaise lounges, you know, right next to the pool for people to lounge. So you want to make it a room, and that's what you're trying to do. Make it a room without walls.
And when you get those all together, it really helps you define your space and encourages people to get outdoors and enjoy the sunshine.
Well, that's what Florida's all about.
And finally, unusually wet weather out west brought a rare spring bloom to the desert of California. Wildflowers are sprouting up, producing a spectacular display, and with it, record crowds and traffic jams. We're giving you a look without the hassle.
It is absolutely phenomenal to see this many blooming desert plants all at the same time. I mean, it's just, I think it's probably a once-in-a-lifetime thing.
This is the payoff for, you know, 3 or 4 years of drought, and then this year a lot of rain, much more rain than we usually get.
But you can see there's quite a few visitors here today. Hi there, how are you? It has been very busy, and we didn't anticipate the crowds.
Bring you right back into town if you like, right back to the circle.
It was a pretty remarkable bloom, I have to say, and it's always a treat. We've been through several seasons of drought, and so these are exciting times for especially plant lovers like myself. This is called brittle bush or incensio. Many of our desert shrubs are starting to come into flower, and many of the cacti are starting to bloom. So there's plenty to see, you know, if you just get out and explore the park. It's been a very good year, and it's going to continue to be beautiful, I would say, through May.
Yeah, honestly, it's crazy, but now I'm one of those that have become one of those that are into wildflowers now as well.
That brings this edition of Behind the Headlines to a close. Thank you for joining us. You can always catch up on past episodes by logging on to naplesnews.com. On the left-hand side under Quick Links, select Behind the Headlines. I'm Amy Osher. See you back here next week.